The Kardashians. Oh, the Kardashians. There's no escaping them, whether we like it or not. We see them and hear about them everywhere. They have been infiltrated into our mainstream society, which seems to rub people the wrong way. It was reported that last year, in November 2011, Cindy Snyder organized a petition to remove them from E! Entertainment, saying, "We feel that these shows are mostly staged and place an emphasis on vanity, greed, promiscuity, vulgarity, and over-the-top consumption." So just like Tu was saying as well, they're spoiled brats, etc. So in other words, they're a bad influence and take them off there. And I bet there would be a couple of you that would have or might have signed this petition. Getting some nods over there. And there was an instance where Professor Kirkham over there, outspokenly said he wasn't the greatest fan, and to my surprise, at the time, a lot of people agreed, like, yeah, they're stupid, they don't do anything. And I was over there sitting in my chair, like, am I the only one that actually likes the show? Guilty. So, apparently I was a minority, so I bit my tongue on the subject, just kind of let it go. But now I have 10 minutes, and I'm going to make use of that. So with the granted time, I would like to open your eyes to see another angle of the Kardashians. Things aren't always black and white. This show is not all bad. They do have some relevance, and you might want to watch from time to time. So in these shows, the cameras follow a very complicated dynamic family. This family is shunned for being bad for several reasons, one of which I'd like to focus in on is their sexual implications. First and foremost, Kim Kardashian, who started it all with the a leaked videotape portraying intimate moments with her boyfriend at the time, Ray J. And so most of the controversy about promiscuity lies really just with her. She dated a couple well-known men, including Nick Lachey, who was a singer Ray J, the Miami Dolphins running back Reggie Bush. She married Chris Humphries for 72 days, and Kanye West, apparently. But since when does dating equate to promiscuity? Sometimes, like the old saying goes, like sometimes you have to kiss a couple of frogs to find your prince, so it's like, why are you judging her for dating? And doing really what we're doing now, trying to find our place. So, and I can't disregard her involvement in racy, photos with Playboy and other magazines. She's the sex icon of our time, one of them anyways. Kris Jenner, the mother of the bunch, she's no exempt from criticism. A radio show, I forget which one it was, but it was going over the Halloween, this year's Halloween, and I guess she was a, risque Wonder Woman, kind of showing cleavage a little, provocative, and a lot of the callers called in like, yeah, she's, first of all, for her age, she shouldn't be wearing that. Secondly, she's a mother, what kind of influence is that on her children? And I understand those points because I'm the eldest of 3, so, you have innocent young eyes looking up at you. You do want to provide the best kind of model for them. But I think all her children are grown. They're like adults now. So relax. Like, as long as she's not hurting anybody, I think, let it be. So you also have Khloe and Kourtney, the other 2 sisters, who seem to enjoy humorously talking about sex during the show. They'll joke around and stuff, so they're very free and out about that. So yeah, there's no denying that sex is a part of their show. I'm not refuting that, I'm simply defending it. Like, since when is sex is a bad thing? There's no, like, porn, it's not porn status where you have to get, like, a membership to watch the Kardashians, 18 and over, check, you're already, like, it's not to that extent, I don't think. And also, sex is as natural as the air we're breathing. According to the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, it's right there in the bottom of the pyramid, right next to eating, and sleeping. It's like natural. Why are we condemning them for something that we are all and should be in tune with? And it's funny, a story about I had a guy friend who went to the Marines and who was telling me about stories about what his sergeant was telling him, and one of the things that still remains with me today is, like, he was saying, oh yeah, they said the main threes when you go on missions, it's eat, sleep, and sex, because you're kind of deprived of those at certain occasions. I don't know if you guys might relate to. Drink, apparently. So, you know, at the time I thought, okay, note to self, don't date Marines, simple-minded creatures, eat, sleep, sex, XXX, but really the sergeant was right on with Maslow as well. Like, that is a part of the basic needs, and, you know, then you progress with that. So I think that these are among the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. So to categorize the Kardashians for having some sexual implications on their show is a little ironic. The Kardashians have received a bad reputation for seemingly being staged and for their vanity. Anytime you put a camera in the room, behaviors change. A good example of that is the red light camera systems. Like, I am the best driver when I know there's a camera there. Like, I do all the brake, complete with turn signals. You know, it's like I'm taking my driver's test all over again, just because I know that cameras might flash me. So it just, and apparently I'm not the only one who does this. The Federal Highway Administration reported right-angle crashes decreased by nearly 25% with the implementation of red light cameras. So, you know, there's statistics proving that when there's a camera, it's just different. The fact that people find them vain is a little judgmental and hypocritical. Recall the beginning of the semester when Professor Kirkham was telling us about the fact that we're going to have to be recorded and put on YouTube. Everybody was like opposed to, like, oh no, I kind of looked around, like, are you serious? We don't want to be, and I remember thinking, okay, I'm going to have to look good on those presentation days, like, just in case. But and that the reality is not a lot of people see it. Like, I have one view, and that's Mr. Kirkham, you know? It's like, nobody sees that, and we still worry about that. So imagine having all of our lives being broadcasted. Like, you obviously want to look good. They obviously have the pressure to look good. And that goes on with their self-esteem being bruised, which is a part of the Maslow. Like, they're only humans. Why are we kind of judging them for trying to look good? And the idea about them being greedy is just ridiculous to me. They've, like, yes, they have money, but, like, why should they be penalized for their financial success? Kind of like what Tu was saying. Also, they've done charity work. In one of the episodes, they were part of a boxing match, so they risked their lives and their well-being for charity, you know? How are we going to say that, you know, they're greedy? So this show has had much negative criticism, but it's simply following the lives of the rich and famous, a culture we're not all part of. So of course we're intrigued and curious about, you know, how they go about their lives, what kind of issues they have, what they do, etc. And I'd like to take this opportunity to tap onto what exactly it is that they do, because there's a lot of speculation about them not being relevant. And it's funny because I remember my sister and I were sitting down watching TV, watching the Kardashians, and my mom sits down for a little while, and the only kind of TV she watches are like Mexican soap operas, novelas, so she sat down, tried to like understand what was going on. She's like, she told me in Spanish, like, who are they? Like, what do they do? They don't do anything, right? Like, they're on all the time. But like, they don't seem to do anything. But, so I quickly, you know, went down and I started defending them, like, Mom, no, you know, the father was Robert Kardashian Sr. He was a part of the O.J. Simpson, the Dream trial for his defense. So they're kind of known for that. The mother, she owns her own boutique. Well, it's now, she doesn't have it anymore, but she had a, you know, a store. She was a businesswoman. She married Bruce Jenner, who was an ex-Olympian. You know, he's a well-known man now doing television show for, you know, he covered the London Olympics this year. So, you know, you have that going on. Robert Kardashian, the brother, graduated from USC Trojans. Fight on. So he also appeared on Dancing with the Stars. He did pretty well. You got the younger half sisters, Kylie and Kendall Jenner, who, you know, had their model careers coming up for them. And they're, you know, you see them struggling with school and like high school, so that taps into like high schoolers as well. Then you have Kim Kardashian, who makes appearances at clubs. She models for magazines. She actually had a single debut song called Jam, which, yeah, you should check it out. It's kind of fun. I was dancing to it a little bit, like, okay, auto-tuned, of course, but, so, which all the proceeds went to a cancer organization. So how's that for greedy, you know? Like, she's helping out a little, just doing her part. So Chloe married basketball player Lamar Odom. She appeared in a nude photo shoot, support for PETA. So for those of you who are like animal rights, and she's like, I'd rather go nude than wear fur campaign. So she was an animal rights activist. She participated in a radio broadcast system for a bit. She currently co-hosts in the X Factor as well, alongside Mario Lopez. And all three sisters, Courtney, Kim, and Chloe, published their own books, so check them out. They're writers, educated, doing their biography. So, and they also co-own their own store named Dash. So they're businesswomen as well. We should be looking up to this. And they also have a clothing brand called Kardashian Collection. So in stores near you, Sears, check them out. So we're talking about professional businesswomen. So how dare you say they're not relevant? So despite criticism about them being bad for their sexual, staged, vain, or greediness, these Kardashians are keeping themselves relevant, constantly looking for more projects, more opportunities, which keep myself and others entertained. And this is obvious from the great ratings. According to a spokesperson for E! Entertainment, one of the premiere shows broke a record, averaging 3.3 million viewers. According to Forbes, the television network sees these numbers as a good indication of the staying power for the show, the continued interest in the family, and the overall success of the franchise. So sorry to break it to you haters over there. This family's here to stay. On air, they shall remain. So from business ordeals to their relationship family issues, we will continue to see the drama as it unfolds. So tune in from time to time. You might find yourself to enjoy the Kardashians. Oh, the Kardashians.
All right, Yoon-sung, what did you think?
Yeah, her attention device was pretty good, and transition was good too. And then I never saw that TV show, and from her explanation, I kind of got what the TV show is about. So that was good, and she used humor like well, and yeah, I think yeah, her eye contact was good too.
Okay.
I think yeah.
You know what the show's about? It's about half an hour. All right. The introduction was fine. I thought you did a good job getting our attention. That worked pretty well. The audience responded well to it. I know what your point of view is. I think you need a lot more structure for what you're talking about. It seems like it's very random how things are being developed, and you need to get a grip on those particular points. I think you could make the argument that says, look, it provides an entertainment, they are legitimate business people, and what they're doing is, and how they act is perfectly in keeping with the pop culture. And there you go, then you've got a structure. Then make all of your examples fit into those categories, and it just feels like it's kind of wandering around on all those things. You hit most of those points, but not necessarily in any particular or progressive order. So it's just hit or miss, random kind of thing. It's delivered in an interesting way. Look, you're very natural while you're talking to the audience. You're talking about a subject that you like and enjoy. I can't remember what disparaging thing I said about the Kardashians. I'm sure I must have said something that inspired it. Having never seen the show, I don't know anything about it except that there are three sisters. I knew who Kris Jenner was because, I don't know, somebody mentioned her, and I said, well, she's married to Bruce Jenner. So that's how I knew she was. And the Kardashians, you know, like I said, the sex thing, I have not seen the sex tape. I hope to avoid having to see all that kind of stuff. But, you know, like you said, it's you're putting on a defense of a cultural phenomena that you think is being attacked. I thought that you did do a good job at the beginning talking about how it was being attacked. You mentioned general public criticism and that there's a petition, you know, to try and get it taken off the air. It'll be taken off the air when people stop watching. That's the way most of those shows go. If you don't like something, don't watch it. If you like something, watch it. That's how you decide. You don't need to write petitions and sign signatures. That rarely has any effect. You can save Star Trek once for that. That's about it. You know, so it's just one of those kind of screwy things. Like I said, I think that there are a couple of times when you get a little wrapped up in what you're doing. At one point, I caught you reading the words off of your notes, using your finger to underline the things that you were talking about, and that looked a little strange. Most of the time, you're doing a better job than that. All right. By the way, Jessica's the only person who's volunteered to participate in the tournament this weekend, so none of you have approached me about doing that. Hopefully, she'll do a fine job.